welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Jennifer Mooney and I'm the Deputy Chair of the MA in Children's and Young Adult Literature here in the School of English in DCU. And I'm also the co-director of our Centre for Research in Children's and Young Adult Literature, which supports our MA degree programme. So what I want to do today is just tell you a little bit about our Master's degree in Children's and Young Adult Literature, about the programme itself and why our programme here is such an exciting and supportive place to undertake your studies, which I'm presuming you're interested in literature and in children's and young adult literature specifically if you're interested in the course. I'm happy to answer any questions at the end as well, and I'll tell you a little bit about the application process at the end as well. Okay. So here at DCU, we're very proud of the very long history that we have in the study of children's and young adult literature. So the English department that was first based on our St. Patrick's campus was the first to offer a taught Masters in Children's and Young Adult Literature, and that was back in 1997. And then as of 2017, we're the first to offer a Master's degree programme in Children's and Young Adult Literature. And then as of last year, we have been offering our programme on a full-time and a part-time basis as well. So if you were to undertake the programme on a full-time basis, you would do the entirety of the programme across 1 year. And if you were to undertake it on a part-time basis, it would be across 2 years. So that's quite an exciting departure really for the study of children's and young adult literature generally, and for the school itself. So just to talk a little bit, I suppose, about children's and young adult literature as well, it's a very exciting area of study, and not just because it has a very unique, plays quite a unique and remarkable part in literary and social culture, but also if you think about a lot of the books by either, very famous or well-known children's and young adults authors or more contemporary ones, it is a site where authors are often working out ideas around literary and social change. So we look at, in our module, we look across a broad category of children's and young adult fiction. So we look at from picture books to fantasy and myth, to realism, to historical and contemporary. And the master's programme addresses modes of criticism and theory, as well as chronologies and canonicity, as well as publishing trends, and that immediate relationship that children's and young adult literature has with popular culture. And this is also all done while taking into account the unique power dynamic that is inherent in children's and young adult literature because of the adult author writing for young readers. So I think what makes DCU and the School of English here a great place to undertake your studies is, not only do we have a great holding of children's and young adult literature here in DCU. You might have seen that recently Children's Books Ireland, there was an agreement with Children's Books Ireland and DCU here that we would take their collection of books into our archive here, and it's a growing collection as well. So of award-winning children's and young adult texts that are shortlisted for awards will be added to that library. So it's a continuing the growth of the collection, and we also have other collections and special archives here in DCU as well. So that makes it a great place to study children's and young adult literature. But we also have, as well as that collaboration with Children's Books Ireland, we have a lot of other exciting collaborations with professional bodies, national and international academics, educationalists, with writers and illustrators, and really anybody who's interested in children's and young adult literature. And that's part of the Centre for Research that I mentioned earlier. So if you were undertaking your studies here, you would be able to attend talks. We would also have guest lectures on the MA given by leading academics, also writers. So most recently, for example, we had Irish authors Deirdre Sullivan and Sarah Marie Griffin, who are young adult authors, in to give a talk and a Q&A session with our MA students. We also have as well our writer in residence at the moment is a children's author, Dave Rudden, the Irish author, fantasy author. And he will also be giving a guest talk coming up in April. So to undertake the masters here, I suppose you become part of that community in terms of being part of a community of scholars and authors and writers, and meet lots of people who are interested, I suppose, in the same things that you are. In terms of undertaking your studies, then, just to tell you a little bit about future possibilities. So if you undertake this MA, it serves as a very good foundation for careers across a wide area. So some people who have graduated from our MA have gone on to careers in publishing. Others have become writers for children. And it also is a foundation for careers in media, in education more broadly, and of course in academia and scholarship as well. So just to tell you a little bit about the process of the MA, as I said, it's either full-time or part-time, so it depends on which route you're interested in taking. But for all students, whether you take it on a full-time basis or part-time basis, the first part of your studies, you'll encounter different modules. And as I said, there's a range of different genres and critical theories that we use. So you'll have modules that are looking at histories and contexts of children's and young adult literature, and then others that look at international children's and young adult literature, for example. And in the second part of your MA, so whether that's the latter part of the first year, if you're full-time, or the second year, if you're doing it on a part-time basis, you will then undertake your own research. So you'll have the chance and the opportunity, after learning broadly in the first part of your studies, you'll then have the opportunity to undertake your own research in an area that is of a special interest for you. And that will be supported then by colleagues in here. So your dissertation will be approximately 12,000 words in length. So part of the application process as well is, I suppose, telling us about you. So telling us in a personal statement why you're interested in studying children's and young adult literature, and then also what makes you suitable, because it is a competitive area and field, and to get a place on a course like this is fantastic, and it is competitive in terms of lots of students both nationally in Ireland and internationally being interested in the course. So that's part of the application, as well as telling us a little bit about maybe the impact that you might expect of taking this master's for your future studies or future career. And then, of course, you would have to give us your CV and transcripts of your other academic transcripts as well. So that's it for my presentation. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my slides to show, but I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have. You might have some questions. I think Alicia has a question there. And my email is in the chat there as well. It's jennifer.mooney@dcu.ie. So if you do have any further questions, feel free to email them to me as well. Thanks, Samuel. You're very welcome. And I should say as well, if anyone is interested in taking the master's program on a part-time basis, you might be interested in the timetable or the schedule. So we do our best, obviously, to be understanding that people are likely to have other commitments if they're taking it on a part-time basis. So the timetable would be in the evening. So usually the classes are usually scheduled at 4 o'clock from 4 to 6 usually. So Alicia, you had Do you have an assistantship opportunity? I'm wondering, Alicia, are you wondering about scholarship opportunity perhaps there? Um, if you want to, maybe Alicia, you could send that email. You could send me an email about that, and I can get back to you about that maybe through email directly. No problem. Okay, so I think that might be it for questions. So thank you very much for your time today. And as I said, if anyone has any questions or further queries, please just drop me an email at my email address there, jennifer.mooney@dcu.ie. And hopefully we look forward to maybe meeting some of you in future on our masters. Thank you.